Welcome to Elder is the New Black podcast, where we intend to return elderhood to its proper place in the human landscape. You may notice that we've changed our name. My name is Myra Tara, and this podcast is brought to you by Here's Hermitage and the Sacred Mother Elders Council. The conversation around rest as resistance keeps coming across my radar. When I hear it voiced by Black women, I have this longing to connect around something in particular. I clearly understand the conditions that give rise to this conversation. I'm well acquainted with the literature on working mothers. I lived it myself as a working single mother. I get it. But there are two things I'd like to bring forward. The first is that I've been more engaged with African culture since spending a month in Ghana a few years ago, and there are elements of our cultural inheritance that illuminate this question of rest with remarkable clarity. Not only for Black women, but for women in general, for humans in general, actually. The second thing is that as a gerontologist focused on optimal aging and elderhood, I have observed that elderhood often expresses itself in ways that closely mirror these same African cultural patterns. It's very interesting. I have written about this convergence in my ebook with the same title as this podcast, What Black Women Elders Know About Rest, Coherence, Presence, and the End of Overextension. You can find it at www.elderisTheNewBlack.com. But what I want to offer here is this. All Black women carry inside ourselves a living model of rest. It is already within us. I will use the concept of time to demonstrate this point. You may find yourself smiling in recognition. In A Geography of Time by Robert Levine, he describes what he calls event time in African cultures, in contrast to clock time that organizes Western life. This idea is found in other works as well, like that of John Mabidi and other Africans in the diaspora, or African people of African heritage in the diaspora as well. But this is the concept is event time. For people living by event time, activities unfold naturally. The emphasis is on the completion of the event rather than the duration, how long it lasts. Flexibility and the quality of the interactions are most important. There is little pressure to adhere to a rigid schedule. A gathering begins when enough people arrive. A conversation continues as long as meaning is being made. In business settings, people prioritize building personal relationships over getting straight down to business. Meetings may begin with long greetings, inquiries about personal and family well-being, and just general informal discussion. The pace of the meeting is determined by the people who are present and the flow of the conversation rather than by a clock. The agenda is flexible enough to allow discussions to flow naturally based on the needs and interests of the people present. This approach is designed to strengthen emotional bonds, which are seen as the foundation for successful business dealings. Pay attention to this why. Strong bonds are seen as the foundation for successful business dealings. Now, if this is a business meeting, what do you think a social gathering might be like? You already know. How many baby showers have I attended that look just like this? African events begin when enough people get there. It is not common for people to arrive much later than the scheduled time because over the course of the day, or on the way, the relational needs of each moment took precedence over getting to the event. Perhaps one ran into an old teacher who wanted to know how her former student is doing. Well, nothing was more important in that moment than to take the time for this. For Africans, time is conceptualized as the infinite past leading up to the present moment. one actually gains more time each day. Time is plentiful in African consciousness. And given that one actually makes more time by living it, the pace of life can take its unpredictable course without penalty. The cultural value, then, is to enjoy the present moment, to nurture relationships, and to allow events to just unfold. Social harmony, patience, and interpersonal connections take precedence over strict punctuality. At a doctor's office, the time allocated to a patient depends on the patient's needs more than on a fixed schedule. Education focuses on experiential learning, where the pace is dictated by the learner's needs and interests, and the completion of activities or lessons rather than by a fixed timeline. Buses may leave when they are full rather than at a scheduled time. I so remember that. As you have listened, you probably compared all of this to clock time, the rigid scheduling of activities according to the clock, where specific times are set for events or tasks to begin and end. In Western culture, the clock organizes life. People structure everything around time, and time is seen as a finite resource. So punctuality and efficiency are highest values in the West. African and Western cultures also have different ideas about wasted time. Time is money in the West. For Africans, time is an opportunity to deepen the quality of a relationship. So what does all this have to do with rest? Everything. Rest, in its deepest sense, is not simply the cessation of activity. Rest is alignment with the natural rhythms of life. Rest is the capacity to know in real time the appropriate allocation of energy for what is before you, and to honor that. True rest is possible when there is a felt awareness of the benevolent container holding all life, when there is genuine trust in the web of life that sustains us. Well, African communal culture provides this. My work for the past 30 years has been to help Western people develop this felt awareness and this felt trust. For the next 30 years, I'm focusing my work on 60-plus-year-old mothers. I'm eager to tell you more about this work at a later date. For now, this is rest, a living, embodied state in which life is met with exactly the energy required, no more and no less. You can explore this more fully in my ebook, What Black Women Elders Know About Rest, Coherence, Presence, and the End of Overextension at www.elderistheNewBlack.com. For more podcasts like this one, please subscribe at Elder is the New Black on Substack. But before I close, can I share something with you? Today marks my 1-year anniversary, 52 weeks of weekly 36-hour fasts. This has been an incredible and quiet teacher for me. I'm actually going to spend a good bit of time just recognizing some genuine change that I've noticed. Anyway, I just wanted to invite you to celebrate this moment with me. It means something, and so it means something that you might celebrate it with me. Thank you so much for listening to the Elder is the New Black podcast. Until next time, be well.